Welcome to the educational video, IRA Tax Bomb. Now, for many of you, you grew up in an era in the 70s and 80s and possibly in the 90s. Those were your earning years. Those were the years in which you were convinced that you needed to save money for your retirement. So either you through a pension plan, you through a 401k or 457 or other similar retirement plan, or straight through an IRA, you have saved for your retirement. And one of the reasons that you did that is because back in the 70s and 80s, Congress approved self-funded retirement plans. And back then, the idea was, hey, I'll put money away when I'm in a lower tax bracket or in a higher tax bracket. When I go to retire, I'm going to be in a lower tax bracket. Well, unfortunately, that hasn't worked out for many of you. I mean, in all the classes that we teach across the country, we usually ask for a raise of hands of those people that are retired that have actually dropped tax brackets. We figure at best it's about 5 or 10%. About 90% of you, your tax bracket has either stayed the same or it's gone up. Well, for the last 20 years, the government says that it has decreased the tax bracket. And it is true when you look at the front bracket, but what they have done in turn is they've actually removed most of the deductions that were allowed. Therefore, you actually end up paying more in tax, even though the bracket is less. And keep in mind, when you retire, a lot of your deductions are going to go away. The children are out of the house, no more dependent deductions, the mortgage deduction's gone. And the problem is that when you get to retirement, they are going to force that money out of your retirement plan, otherwise known as required minimum distributions. My question to you is this: has your financial advisor explain the methods to you to get to your retirement plan with either a reduced or a zero tax? Probably not. And here's one of the reasons that, and it's a dilemma within the financial industry. The financial companies, whether it be the large brokerage houses or the big banks, they make money by holding on to your money. This is why that 99% of the people that practice in the financial advisory services system will teach what we call the accumulation method. They teach you how to invest it. They will certainly take your money. They will put it into mutual funds and variable annuities and other types of financial products. But isn't it interesting that when you get to that point, no one is really educated nor capable of sitting down and explaining all the right methodologies and strategies for getting your money out? And the reason is it's to the disadvantage of the financial institution. So that's one of the things you have to remember, because people will come into our office and they'll say, gosh, no one has explained this to me. No one has explained to me how to offset some of the tax coming out of my IRA. No one has explained to me how to use leverage to get that out. No one has explained to me that certain stocks should never be in an IRA. Certain bonds should be outside the IRA. No one's ever taken the time to explain this. Again, they won't, because it's not to their benefit for you to distribute the highest amount of money. That's less for them to manage and charge fees on. So let's talk about why we really do have a problem with the IRAs and where that tax bomb comes from. Well, one of the ways that a retiree depends upon income or tax deductions is their itemized deductions. But what happens is when you get to retirement, in a previous video, we taught you that everything is added together: dividends and interest, Social Security, capital gains from mutual funds, and required minimum distribution. So it's important that you understand this is where the tax trap comes into play, because they will add that onto your total income. So how can your retirement plan hurt you into retirement? Number one, it can create more Medicare income-based penalties. Number two, it can cause higher taxation on Social Security. Number three, it can cause a loss of your medical deduction on your 1040 Schedule A. Number four, it can increase your tax bracket on other income. And number five, you can lose any capital gains tax treatment on any type of investment. You will pay ordinary income tax on everything coming out of your IRA. And if you attended our last video, in that video, we talked about the 7 deadliest tax mistakes that retirees make. And you will also remember that in that video, we talked about an IRA can cause up to 65% taxation when you die. Now, we're going to be covering a lot of the ideas and the strategies on how to get money out of your IRA on either a reduced or zero tax basis. Now, if Are you participating in the discounts that were offered? You will need a code. That code is LO. LO. So you should have 3 parts to the code to unlock the discounts. Make sure that you bring that entire code with you to the class so you can get your certificate for the discount. We'll look forward to seeing you then.